he also fundamentally changed the nominating process with respect to his acceptance of the nomination. Do you know what he did? Anybody know? He flew in and gave the speech in person rather than, you know, in the old days, you would wait for weeks and weeks because it wasn't seemly. You know, it wasn't in the George Washington tradition like we talked about to run and accept the nomination. FDR said nuts to that, came to the convention, gave his acceptance speech, another way in which FDR set a new precedent and changed the course of American political history. Now, it was quite clear the Democrats were going to win in 1932. Hoover was not going to be reelected at the trough of the Great Depression. And a lot of FDR's advisors, what do you think they told him with respect to going out and campaigning? Yeah.
To play down that he was a member of America's elite, to be one of the people.
That's part of it, but they had bigger advice about campaigning. Even bigger than that. Bigger. Don't! Exactly. Don't do it. And you got a good excuse, because, you know, you've never run for you've run for national office, but you ran for vice president, you know, different thing. You know, you're going to win unless you make a huge mistake, so don't campaign at all, and you've got a good excuse for not campaigning, and what's that? Yeah.
You're going to walk.
You're disabled. How do you think FDR reacted to that, from what we know about FDR? Yeah?
He didn't want to do it because he didn't want to make it seem like his disability was going to...
Exactly. The last thing, and this is really important to know about FDR, the last thing FDR ever wanted to do was hide behind his disability and use his disability as an excuse. Quite the opposite. How did he present his disability to the American people and the world? He didn't, exactly. You know, he's almost never photographed, you know, in a way that shows his disability. Basically, you know, he had a wonderful upper body because, you know, he had to strengthen his upper body to get around, and he tried to portray the image of robust, good health, great cheeriness, and great optimism. You know, they talk about optimistic candidates. Well, here's Franklin Roosevelt in the middle of the Great Depression, showing his optimism and his enthusiasm